Okay, so it's only mid-February 2026, and I found this year I've had to explain three separate times to people why you can't divide by zero. And so I decided I'm gonna make a video I could just sit and pretend this is a evenly perfectly cut pizza with 8 slices. So the explanation everybody says is like, initially if you have like two people and you want to divide it evenly among them, you could just split it in half, right? So that there's four for no, this guy, and then four for this guy. But if you have a pizza that has 8 slices, eight perfectly cut even slices, of course, among zero people, how much do each of them get? Well, it doesn't really work. I guess this guy has, you could say nobody gets 8 slices, you could say nobody gets no slices, it could be any number. And I'm not satisfied with that explanation, anyways, because 8 divided by 0.5 equals 16. So if you have half a pizza, or half of a person, and you're splitting a pizza between half a person, that person could have 16 half slices, but it's still equal to 8. So the explanation of, well, how many slices does each person get doesn't make sense, because it's not like he's getting 16 slices. And then if you think about it, division is the opposite of multiplication, and multiplication is repeated addition. So therefore, division is repeated subtraction. I could kind of prove it. Okay, so 10 divided by 2, of course, we know equals. Sorry, I'm holding the phone with my other hand. 5. And a way that we could do that is 10 minus 2 is 8. We'll put that as iteration 1. And then 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 8 minus 2 is going to be 6. Minus 2 is going to be 4. Minus 2 is going to be 2. Minus 2 is going to be 0. And when we hit 0, that hits it. And okay, so we know that 10 divided by 3 is 3.33. Repeating. So 10 minus 3 is going to be 7. And that's iteration 1. And then minus 3 is going to be 4. That's iteration 2. And minus 3 is going to be 1. That's iteration 3. And then we don't subtract a full 3. We subtract 0.3333, repeating of 3. And so basically minus 3, and then minus point, okay, what is it? Minus 3, minus 3, and then minus 0.3333 of 3. So that's iteration 1, 2, 0.33, 3.3333. So therefore we know that 10 divided by 3 is 3.3333, repeating. So now, using the same logic of repeated subtraction, it kind of makes sense why 8 divided by 0.5 equals 16. You have 8 divided by 0.5 equals 7.5. I don't want to go through all 16 iterations, but it's iteration 1, and then 2 you have 7, 3 you have 6.5, all the way down to iteration 16, and you're at 0. So using that same logic, 8 divided by 0, even after an infinite amount of iterations, you're not getting any closer to 0. You can't hit 0 because you do 10 minus 3 to get to 7, minus 3 to get to 4, minus 3 to get to 1, and then you keep going until you hit 0. Subtracting 0, there's no possible way to ever hit 0. Hence, divided by 0 doesn't equal infinity. Though, using this logic, 0 divided by 0 could equal literally whatever you want. I haven't looked this up. I don't know if math teachers would agree with me. I have heard something similar to this, but it's because 0 minus 0 equals 0. So therefore, 0 divided by 0 could equal 0. 0 minus 0, 0 times is 0 if you don't subtract 0 from it at all, right? But if you also subtract 0 from it one time, you hit 0. If you subtract, 0 minus 0 500 times, still equals 0. So therefore, 0 divided by 0 could equal literally anything you want, but nothing else divided by 0 equals anything. And this explanation doesn't suffice that, if you have 0 people taking 8, dividing 8 slices among 0 people, how many slices does each person get? That's not a good analogy, because if you have half a person taking 8 slices, it's not like they're going to have 16 slices yet. 8 divided by 0.5 does indeed equal 16, and the only way to make sense of it is with repeated subtraction. And with repeated subtraction, you can't hit 0 if you're subtracting 0 from a number. And that is why I agree that you can't, that anything divided by 0 equals infinity is incorrect. I agree that it's incorrect. I disagree that something divided by 0 equals infinity, especially because infinity is not a number.